So the NBA season is in full effect. Peyton, are you excited about that? Because I know you're a basketball fan.
Yes, I am so pumped. I was really upset that my Lakers lost the other night, but super excited for the NBA season.
So I talked about this in a podcast a couple weeks ago, I think. I went to opening night last night for the Denver Nuggets against the Phoenix Suns last night. We had an iHeart suite. So they had a little contest, like win Johnjay's tickets, right? So hang out with me in the suite. And I agreed to it a long time ago. One of those things where it sounded like a good idea at the time. And then,
and then when it comes, you're like, oh no, what did I do?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And then management, I think, was like trying to make sure that I stayed as long as possible. They kept texting. They texted me earlier today like, hey, make sure you sign the tab for everything in the suite, right? Which is like, I mean, when do you normally do that at the end of the night, right?
The very end.
So yesterday, it was a crazy day, very busy day yesterday. And my plan was I was going to take my wife, Blake, my son, Dutch, and my son, Kemp, and me. And we were going to go to our suite. Now, I have tickets to the game. I got rid of those tickets so I could go to sit in the suite. So I was in this. So my son Kemp had to go to with his basketball team to a haunted house. They did a haunted house thing, so he was out for the game. So my son Dutch brought a friend, and Kemp had basketball practice, and we were running late. So I ran home at like 6:20. The game's at 7. Right, it's 6:20. I'm like, haven't been home all day. I run home, do that thing, underarm deodorant spray. Hey, I'm ready to go, right? I'm tired. I load up my wife and my son Dutch and his friend Jameson, and we are going to the game. And it's bumper-to-bumper traffic. And I want to be there when it starts, but if I'm not, I feel bad, But I'm like, all right. So I'm telling Jameson, hey, man, I'm sorry if we're not there by tip-off. And he's like, it's okay. And his dad happens to be going to the game as well on his own with a friend or something. So I'm going to the game, driving to the game, and I'm just kind of avoiding traffic, driving through downtown, going whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, where am I? What street am I on? Where am I? It's dark now. And oh, crap. I'm on the wrong side of the stadium. And it's bumper-to-bumper traffic. But I look and I see on one-way street, the way I'm going is that there's valet parking. Right? And I'm like, I don't have the valet parking pass. But I also now am screwed as far as going around a one-way street and going to the parking pass that I have. And I'm like, so I just said, forget it. I pull to the valet and I get out and I go, hey, can I park here? And it turns out I know the guy, kind of. So he's like, hey, no problem. So I give him like $20. Hey, man, thanks, man. You park? And he says something to me. And I'm not totally paying attention because it's absolute chaos, right? We're getting out to go to the stadium, but you need a mask. Crap, I forgot mask. Open the trunk of my car, zip up my backpack. I'm looking for mask. And then the valet guy's telling me something. Hey, by the way, and I'm like, yeah, I got you. Here's the $20, thanks, right? And then, then I got to give my key fob because if you take off with my car, so then it turns, hey, we got masks here. They give you a mask when you walk in. All right, so then we walk into the thing. They take my car. We walk into the game. And we go to the suite, and I'm starving, and all we have in our suite is popcorn. Last time we did this, we had hot dogs and steaks and stuff. So I'm eating popcorn like crazy. The game starts. We have some listeners in the suite, very cool people that won, very grateful people. So we start watching the game. I'm tired now. And I look and there's a sofa. I'm like, hey, I don't remember a sofa being in here, but that's great. So I chill out on the sofa and watch the game on TV. And it's now, I would say the third inning, but it's not the third inning. It's the third
quarter.
Third quarter. And I'm like, let's wrap this up. I'm ready to go. So I tell my wife, I said, you want to get out of here? And she's like, well, and I go, let's just go. So I tell Dutch, my son, Dutch, let's go. And he's like, it's a 3-point game. You can't leave. It's a 3-point game.
Right. Dutch is totally right.
Right. But it's like 8:30 or something.
I'm shocked you made it past halftime, quite honestly.
Because we had a very talkative group of people in the suite.
Okay.
I'm like, can you see a man laying on the sofa? Why would you go talk to a guy laying on the sofa?
Listeners know that you're going to be like in the corner of.
But they were talking. So I'm like, let's go. So Dutch, a 3-point game, and I go, you know what? Then get a ride home.
Oh my God.
What?
I know. That's how tired I was.
Oh my gosh.
The kid's 15.
He's not old enough to do that.
But he's very independent. He's very independent. He goes, I'll get a ride home.
That's
like, all right.
not like getting a ride home from school.
I know.
He's literally downtown.
20,000 people.
it?
And he says, Jameson's dad's here somewhere. And I'm like, all right, find him. Right? And I go, he goes, you think, Jameson's dad will give you a ride home? I'm sure he'll give you a ride home. All right, text me, let me know.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I said, right? So
You didn't even confirm before you left? Like, I would
No.
at least have to say, okay, I need to see you with Jameson's dad. I need to get a thumbs up from him, and then I can go.
that's what I thought. But Blake was on board.
What?
I know. Third kid.
He's 15 though?
He's 15.
I feel like I was left alone at 15.
You're the
years
youngest.
Old. I'm the middle child.
Middle child. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think that goes with the first kid. Like Jake, our oldest, there's no way.
way.
So Blake says, I go, hey, he's going to find Jameson's dad and get a ride home. I want to go. I'm tired. She goes, okay. And as we're walking down the steps, I said, do you want to check with Jameson's dad to make sure that they'll get a ride home? And she's like, okay, I'll do that when we're in the car. I'm like, okay. So we go downstairs, and I'm like, do you want to text with the dad? She goes, I will. We're getting in the car. So remember I told you the valet guy was saying something to me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I go down to the valet, and there's that little podium, right? We go down to the valet, nobody there. So I'm standing there, and I'm like, this is weird. I would think the valet people would be here. And I'm standing by the valet guy, and I'm just waiting. And there's nobody by the valet stand. And I'm like, I feel like third quarter people would be leaving. I mean, I've left at halftime before, and people...
You've left before that.
People are, and you're not alone. People
Right.
do that.
But I'm standing there
Sometimes.
alone now. Nobody's there. And I'm like, this is weird. And there's a number on the valet thing. And Blake goes, should I call that number? And I go, yeah, but that's like their main number. I go, there's 20,000 people here. I go, I can't be the only one that wants to leave. Now, this is weird. And I look across the parking lot. There's this parking lot. I got to cross the street, and then this massive parking lot. And I go, I'm going to go across this parking lot. Now, it's dark, right? So I go across this parking lot, and I see all these people and all these cars. And I go, hey, man, you guys the valet? He goes, yeah. I was telling you that where you drop off the car is not where you pick up the car. You got to pick up the car over here. And I go, oh, I wasn't listening. It was pretty fast. So I got to yell, Blake! Blake! Where are we? Like, totally, I think the whole defeating the purpose of valet, by the way, is what it, right? So she comes across the street. We talk to the valet guys. I give another $20 cost me $40 to park, which I probably could have parked anywhere. So, and meanwhile, valet, you park your car. The point is no walking. And so we get in the car. We're driving home. I go, did you text with Jameson's dad? Yeah, Jameson's dad said they were going to find him and they're going to get a ride home, whatever. So driving home, my son Kemp now is coming home from the haunted house. He texts me, says, hey, I'm coming home from a haunted house. I go, okay, we'll probably get home at the same time. So Kemp texts now and says, hey, I'm home. I'm going to bed. I'm like, okay. So pulling down our street, Dutch calls. He calls, and I'm like, oh, no. Did he not connect to Jameson's dad? And I'm just sitting there going, why did I do this? Now I got to turn around. I got to go back. And I'm like, oh, no. Right? So I pick up the phone. I go, hello, what's up, man? He goes, hey, man, can you let me in? I'm home. I go, what? Because I'm home. What do you mean you're home? He goes, yeah, we lost. The game's over and we're home. I go, how are you home? He goes, I don't know. So I pull in the driveway. I walk in and he's on the sofa in our house. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, are you mad because Jameson's dad's GPS beat you home? I'm like, what are you talking about? I go, how? What? And I realize I think I wasted a bunch of time trying to find my car from the valet.
Sure.
And meanwhile, the game ended. And then Jameson's dad GPS home faster than me. But he was just like, you're boom, roasted. Jameson's dad's GPS beat you home. And you can't handle it. And then Kemp was in his room. Kemp comes out and goes, Dad beat GPS by 7 minutes on the way home. And he's like, Jameson's dad beat you home. I go, hold on a minute. How did you possibly get home before this is blowing my freaking mind right now? This makes no sense to me.